anybody watching. My name is Dylan and I like to build houses in The Sims 4. Today I am coming back at you with the second part of the Goth family house, 165 Lane from The Sims 2 for The Sims 4. So this is the second part of this video. The first part was just doing the interior floor plan and then the landscaping. This is doing all of the interior furnishings. Most of the furnishings are pretty similar to what they were in The Sims 2 from 2004, but I did make a couple of key differences or changes. The major one here in this attic space is I put the grand piano up in the attic instead of putting it in the entryway. I did that because in The Sims 2 there is a upright piano in the entryway and it's super cute and I like using it in The Sims 2, but for Sims 4 there is not an upright piano, and putting a large grand piano in that entryway just doesn't quite work. I noticed that a lot of these Sims 2 houses, if you try to build them in Sims 4, a lot of the furnishings just don't quite work because I think the furnishings for Sims 4 are just bigger than they are in Sims 2. I think in Sims 2 they're a little bit more well proportioned, but that's just kind of something that gets lost when you're transferring something from a game that's at this point 17 years old into a new one. There's bound to be some changes. Not everything is going to work, so that was one thing that just didn't quite work. Oh well. So here I am trying to do Mortimer and Bella's room. It, for the most part, looks pretty accurate to The Sims 2, but what I did end up doing was moving the Goth family from Sims 4 into this house, and I had them take all of their furniture from that house and bring it to this house. So this house actually ends up being completely base game only. That wasn't my original intention, but it just kind of worked out that way. The exterior of this house is not base game only, as I said in the last video. I believe the exterior wall coverings uses cats and dogs, and the windows are from Get Together, but with most of the interior, in fact all of the interior being base game only, that makes this house a mostly base game house, which all y'all know I really appreciate because, like I always say, I don't have all the packs, and most people don't have all the packs. So if I can make something that uses very limited amount of expansion packs, I am all for it. I love that for us. Let's do it. Now I have said time and time again that when I am making something from, let's just say, a TV show, or if I'm making something that's been in a video game like Sims 2 and I'm recreating it in Sims 4, I am not all that interested in making sure everything lines up completely. I do see quite often people will make a house from Sims 2 or Sims 3 or Sims 1 or whatever, and they will meticulously line everything up exactly how it's supposed to be, according to what it looked like in the previous game. And I get that. I understand what people are going for, but that is not my mentality when I am building these houses. I don't care to make it look exactly the same because I figure we have different tools back in 2004 when The Sims 2 came out, and then in 2009 when Sims 3 came out, and now in 2014 to 2021, just things are different. You can't really make the exact same house because the tools are different and things are updated. And like I said, the furniture pieces in Sims 4 are bigger than the ones that were in Sims 2. So if I were to make this house exactly the same as it was supposed to look in Sims 2, it just doesn't look right. So what I'm getting at is I hope you don't really mind some of the small changes and concessions that I made, because I think this house turned out quite well actually with some of the concessions that I did make. If you don't like it for some reason but you still want to download this house, of course you can change it. I would love to see it if you do want to change it, but I did make things a little bit differently, and I hope that's okay. For instance, here you can see that Cassandra's room, which was the room that I was just doing, it's a little bit different in The Sims 4 than how it is in The Sims 2. In Sims 2, she sleeps in a single bed and has a very sparsely furnished bedroom. In Sims 4, I figured, if you wanted to play with her as an adult in The Sims 4, she should have an adult bedroom. And I don't know, I don't really feel bad about changing that. I think it was a necessary and welcome change. I don't know. The only bedroom here that I'm a little bit sort of kind of unhappy with is Alexander's bedroom, which is this bedroom here that I'm furnishing. In The Sims 2, his room is very dark. I actually remember being like 12 or 13 or whatever, playing The Sims 2 and having to change the wallpaper in his room and the flooring just because at nighttime, Alexander's room would get so unbelievably dark. I mean, maybe I just didn't have a very good computer, which is true. I did not have a very good computer. But it was hard to see anything in his room because the wallpaper was so dark, the flooring was relatively dark, and I believe he only had one light in his room, which was on that bedside table, which I decided to change. And again, that factors into me not really caring about needing to change small things like that. In fact, in this bathroom here that I'm doing, it actually only has a bathtub in the Sims 2 version. But here in the Sims 4, I decided to make the shower bath combination, at least an older looking one. And in order to have that, I couldn't put the bathtub in front of the window because that's a weird spot for a shower, like in the Sims 2 version where it's just the bathtub in front of the window. It just doesn't work in the Sims 2, or excuse me, in the Sims 4. Although now that I think about it, in my apartment, there is a window in the bathtub shower thing. It's actually really strange because my bathtub, this building is very, very old, and there clearly was a bathtub here for a long time, and probably decades later they put in like a shower head, and so it's got the curtain that goes all the way around. But with that, because it used to just be a bathtub, they have a window that is right in front of the bathtub, and so the curtain goes around and it blocks out this window and actually makes my shower kind of cold because it's winter right here in Minnesota and it's like -5 out for the last couple days. I don't know, I just went off on a tangent there, but what else is new? Who cares? So this kitchen here originally uses the counters and the cabinets from the original Goth house for The Sims 4, the black ones. They're very nice, they're very expensive, but I do actually end up changing that. Not on camera, but I changed it off camera when I was going through things because I thought it just made the room look a little bit too dingy and too square, and it just was not a good look, so I did change it, and you will see it in the screenshots, and I think it looks a lot better with what I did. And the dining room here, I think turned out very, very well. I think it was a very good recreation of what is suggested in The Sims 2. Of course, things are different. Like I said, I moved some furniture pieces around, but I think the Sims 4 dining sets that just come with the base game, I think are some of the best sets that we've got thus far. Even with the expansion packs that I do have, I still find myself going back to a lot of the dining sets from just the standard base game. And I think especially transferring the Sims 2 Goth house into the Sims 4, the base game was all I needed to make this dining room look pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. Now, I actually really like the way that this living room also turned out. I took a lot of the stuff that came with the Sims 4 mansion and put it in this room. I did change the color of a lot of it though. But like I said before, even just with the base game, I think it really looks good. I'm very, very happy with how it turned out, and I do think it's a pretty good recreation of the Sims 2 Goth house living room into the Sims 4. It just is cute, and I think the red really, really worked. I don't really tend to use a lot of red furniture pieces when I'm building, even though red is my favorite color in real life, thank you very much, but I think the red in The Sims 4, a lot of times it's just a little bit too strong, so I don't tend to use it all that often, but this was the perfect reason to use it, was for this house, because it's got like what I consider to be like famous red carpeting in the Sims 2 Goth house. I used it here as well, and I really, really like how it turned out. What else is new? I like what I created, because I'm a narcissist. What can I say? I kind of love how I took all of the furniture pieces from The Sims 4 Goth house and I put them all in the yard, and I did end up using a lot of them, but I also took out like all of the curtains and I put them on the side of the house thinking that I was going to go ahead and use them, but I ended up like not using any of the curtains that came with the original Sims 4 Goth house, because the Sims 4 Goth house has really tall walls, whereas this house I only use the short walls, and so the curtains that get used in the original Sims 4 Goth house, they just don't work because the walls aren't tall enough. And not only that, even the curtains that are shorter, the rooms in this house are smaller. And so if I were to use these huge curtains that the original Sims 4 Goth house uses, it just doesn't work because the windows are closer together and it just covers the whole wall in curtains that are just way too large for the space. So I took all this time putting basically all of the curtains on the side of the house thinking that I was going to use them, and then I ended up not even using them. Whatever, it's fine, I guess. I'm not bitter at all. But like I said, I mean, the house, even with the small changes I made, I would say is still recognizable with its Sims 2 counterpart into The Sims 4. You still know it's the Goth house, and it's quite pretty, and I do like the way that it turned out. It's got 3 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms, and then there is a usable attic space that has the grand piano in it. In fact, I think it's also big enough to turn it into a 4th bedroom if you actually wanted to. And you could also probably fit another full bathroom if you wanted to as well. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just saying that's what I always did when I was building this in Sims 2. I mean, if you want to be like me, a really good builder, I don't know. No, I'm totally kidding. Do with this house whatever you want. If you want to find this house and you want to play in it, you can always find it on my gallery at Carl Dillinson. Same as always, that's where you can find all of my Sims 4 houses and all of the ones that I've also put here on YouTube. But look at that, we are already at the screenshots. So I am going to cut off here. If you like what you see, do feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would love it if you would subscribe, but I will still love you, even if you don't. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye-bye.